Hello everybody, John Tricksters back here again with another video, and today I bring you another Flash review. It's Tuesday night, so let's get right down to it. I'm going to give you my review on the Flash episode 17 titled Tricksters. Now, tonight's episode was I don't know. It's hard to explain how I feel about it because I honestly... Last time I stated that Out of Time was definitively the best episode so far out of The Flash this season. This one takes the cake. It just takes the cake. It's fucking amazing. It's just an amazing episode, and of course features a classic Flash villain, which is of course the Trickster, played by none other than the original Trickster, which is Mark Hamill. Now, of course, if you've not seen tonight's episode, this review may contain spoilers, so please go check out the episode, then come back, because there's a lot of spoilers and a lot of things that go into place with the plot and the history behind certain characters, specifically the main antagonist of the series. Nevertheless, let's get right down to it. The episode opens up with a really nice flashback sequence to, of course, 15 years later, earlier, to the events of Barry Allen's mother dying, and we get a good scenario of like what was happening during that night other than just her dying in the process. Apparently we get to see the Flash versus the Reverse Flash in super speed mode, of course, fighting in super speed to try and save not only Kid Barry, but of course Barry's mother, and in the process, Flash saves himself. But the Reverse Flash, as we all know, turns out to get stuck in the current timeline. Apparently he opens up his little robot voice or whatever, which is titled Gideon in this series, essentially talking about what the heck happened, and Gideon basically explains to the Reverse Flash that he has lost his ability to tap into the Speed Force, and he's incapable of going back in time, which means that he's stuck in the current timeline that he is, as hinted in Out of Time. And now, the big reveal, who is under the man in the yellow suit. And of course, he tears off the mask in a bit, and it was, oh my god, it's not even Harrison Wells. Harrison Wells is just a facade, it's a fake, it's a mask that the real Eobard Thawne, the real Reverse Flash, the real Professor Zoom, whichever you want to call it, is hiding under. So, of course, it's not even the same guy, which, of course, makes my brain melt in and of itself. First off, I don't really know who the actor was who was playing the original Reverse Flash. I'll probably look him up later when I, finish this review. But nevertheless, I really liked his look. I liked how demonic and angry his eyes were. And not to mention, he looks a lot like the actor that they got for Eddie Thawne. So I guess it works out to everyone's best interest that we got another actor. And of course, this entire, moment in this episode, of course, creates an entire new speculation for this rest of the series, and of course opens up the history not only of Harrison Wells but of the Reverse Flash in of itself. But anyways, we move off of that and get back into real time. Barry and Joe have teamed up to discover the history behind Harrison Wells, because now that Barry is on to Harrison Wells' schemes, he thinks that he had something to do with the death of his mother and the imprisonment of his father, and they have to find a way to try and prove that. On the flip side, we have the introduction of a new Central City villain, and that is, of course, the Trickster, who I think they did a pretty good job at coming up with a new version of the Trickster, and I love the whole plot device that they used to incorporate the older Trickster played by Mark Hamill. But in my personal opinion, I wasn't really big on the actor who was playing the new Trickster. I thought he was kind of annoying, and he kind of felt like he was trying too hard to be either the Joker or the Riddler, and he didn't really know which one to go with. Like, there's an entire segment in the episode where he's talking in front of a camera, and he's, holding it while he's talking, while the bombs are going off in the park or what have you in the beginning of the episode, which was beautifully done visually. But he sounded too much like he was trying to incorporate Heath Ledger Joker in the design, but then again, like he was talking in riddles in a weird way, which of course is something that the Riddler does. So I don't know what they were really trying to accomplish with that character, but I wasn't really big on it. But of course, the big thing that I personally really was anticipated to see this episode, which is the reintroduction of the original Trickster, which is played by Mark Hamill. And there's only one thing I can say. Mark Hamill is boss. He is the shit. He fucking kills it. Hell, if you want to see something before he fucking puts on the fucking hood for fucking Star Wars Episode 7, you watch this episode because he kills it. It's fucking awesome. Like I know Warner Brothers and DC love to put him as give him voice work for DC properties, but after seeing this episode, he's so good as the villain, performance-wise, that I'm surprised they don't give him more live-action roles. Like, if he's not in the DC Cinematic Universe, I would be very disappointed in Warner Brothers, because he gives the best performance, I personally think, out of every single villain we've seen so far on this series. That could be over-exaggeration. Of course, Reverse Flash is the definitive villain for this series, but Mark Hamill as the Trickster kills it. He fucking is awesome. Every single line he gives, I love the references, the pulp culture references. I like they have an actual Luke Skywalker Darth Vader moment where like the original Trickster tells the new Trickster that I am your father moment, which was hysterical. I just loved Mark Hamill's performance overall. He was just so awesome and amazing to watch. I just find it so odd that they don't just give him more live action roles. So I hope after this episode, when he's done with the whole Star Wars thing, they can try and incorporate him somewhere in the DC Cinematic Universe. It would just be so beautiful, because he did a great job in this episode. But nevertheless, moving off of that, we have a whole bunch of other prior subplots to this. Of course, we get more flashbacks into Harrison Wells' history, his prehistory with the Reverse Flash and Barry Allen. Of course, his relationship with his wife, and how that came to the accident that they inevitably had, and of course how that is incorporated with the Reverse Flash. And there's this really dark, like deeply dark moment where, and spoilers if you've not seen the episode, but there's a moment where the Reverse Flash causes the accident that Harrison Wells has where his wife dies, and in the process of this, he reveals to Harrison Wells that he needs him to years ago, or years in the future, apparently, Harrison Wells does cause the particle accelerator explosion. He does cause it, but it's by accident, an official accident. And the Reverse Flash clearly states that he's revealing that he's Eobard Thawne, the actual Thawne, if you will. He reveals that he needs Harrison to do it again, but much sooner, so he can tap into the Speed Force and, of course, go on with his journey that he's been doing over the course of this season. Which was so dark, and then they just up the gothic darkness by he picks up like this illogical fucking future technology thing, which I don't know what the fuck it's called, and I don't fucking want to know because it's fucking creepy as hell. It's like some kind of Prometheus shit. I don't know what the fuck it is. Nevertheless, he grabs it, connects it to himself and Harrison Wells, and as Harrison Wells is just sitting there in agony while his wife is dead in the car, he fucking sucks in Harrison Wells' body into his. Basically, that's the only real way I can actually explain it to you guys. But he sucks up his body, Cell style, from Dragon Ball Z. I just had to do it. Nonetheless, he does that and uses Harrison Wells' his face as a template for his new face. And then he just goes on to portray himself as Harrison Wells, causing him to create Star Labs, create the accelerator explosion, making everything happen and go into place how we have known the season go eventually in the pilot and what have you, in the rest of the season. So that was a really big mind blower, because at first we think Harrison Wells, he is Eobard Thawne, but then we find out this guy is the actual Eobard Thawne, and he was just using Harrison Wells as a secret identity, which is really crazy. And it's really hard to explain how that comes, how I can explain it better without spoiling it everything, but it's just hard. It was just a huge, mind-blowing experience just to watch. I mean, it was one thing to get the original Trickster again and get Mark Hamill. That was awesome. I loved his moments with John Wesley Shipp in their character roles. Obviously, they didn't do any kind of he was the original Flash type thing. It was more or less, they kind of explained the plot, but I would have liked it if they kind of just did it just for the sake of the argument. Just make it Henry Allen is secretly Jay Garrick. Of course, that would never happen, but it would have been cool if they just had that, where it's he was the original Flash until Barry Allen became the Flash. So, but that's of course completely retcon there, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, over the course of the episode, besides the whole Reverse Flash type shit, the original Trickster teams up with the new Trickster, as he explains is his son, and devises a plan to stop the Flash from them basically acquiring all the money from the richest people of Central City during a re-election campaign, and using that money just basically to become rich and just do whatever the heck they want, because, you know, classic villains always want lots of money, so of course that's the main reason as to why Trickster basically has hijacked all these people, given them poison, and hijacked Henry Allen as just leverage over the Flash and whoever, and specifically the police force. And I also really like the moments where of course they kind of take from Justly Doom. If you've not seen that particular animated feature, of course this will also contain spoilers, but there's a specific moment where the way to destroy the Flash is that they have to connect a bomb to his wrist, and if he stops running, the bomb will explode, which will cause, you know, Barry to die, the Flash to die. And they incorporated that into this episode, where, and we kind of saw in the teaser, of course, where Mark Hamill, of course, traps a fucking wrist bomb to him, and the only way Flash can do it is, of course, to phase through something using the Speed Force, which he eventually does. So, once again, the Flash has done it again by, you know, tapping into the Speed Force and, of course, creating a new ability in his arsenal, which is really awesome. Last time we saw him, he had the ability to time travel, which he still doesn't really know how to do, but now he can phase through materials. So, it's just great to see the Flash get stronger and stronger and faster, where he's starting to incorporate more powers and abilities that he does have in the comic books. So that was really awesome to see. And of course the day is saved, where he saves his father's life, he saves all the people in Central City, he stops the Tricksters, puts them back in jail, and there's a beautiful moment where he reveals to his father that he is the Flash, and that took the cake as well in this episode. It was so beautifully done. I just love that moment where, you know, he realizes that, oh, my son is the Flash. That moment was just amazing. I loved it. But other than that, at the end of the day, they have to. There's more reveals, of course. Barry Allen also reveals his secret identity to Eddie Thawne. But anyways, guys, this episode was just amazing. There was a lot of big reveals. Of course, Iris West discovers the fact that, you know, her boss is missing based off, you know, last week's episode or what have you. And of course, they reveal to Eddie that Barry is the Flash, which, of course, you know, he's a part of the team now, where they have to discover and stop Iris from, you know, messing up everything, because obviously Joe and Barry, now with the help of Eddie, have to discover what Harrison Wells' true plans are and how he is really the man in the yellow suit. And that's pretty much the entire episode. It was a fucking amazing episode. I personally think it's the best one this so far. I keep saying that for some episodes, but I'm just saying, like, Out of Time for me was the best episode since the mid-season finale. And this one, Tricksters, definitely takes the cake. It's definitely better. I love the visual style. I love the incorporation of Mark Hamill and his original take on the Trickster. I love the Reverse Flash origin story through the flashbacks. I loved how they explained how Eobard Thawne and Harrison Wells are the same person. I just loved everything. Everything about this episode was just amazing. It was just so nostalgic, yet original. It was just a great, solid episode. I give it a 10 out of 10. It was amazing. The best episode so far since Out of Time. Personally, in the comment section below, let me know what you personally thought about this episode. What did you think about Mark Hamill returning as the Trickster? What other types of characters would you like to see him play for future live-action DC stuff? What are your anticipation for future episodes? What did you think about the origins between Reverse Flash and Harrison Wells and how they're the same person? Let me know about that. And, of course, give me your personal thoughts overall on this episode. I really loved it, and I hope you guys did too. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Just let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. Definitely check out my prior review on The Flash, episode 16, and my Arrow Season 3, episode 17 episode. And, of course, I'll give you my Arrow episode tomorrow. and just hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel. This has been John 12.